Hi everyone. The other day in my day in the life video on Friday, I'm not sure if you know, but I put one up every weekend. Sometimes I think our life's not that interesting, but they're kind of fun to do. But anyway, I went to our local bookstore, Chapters, and I bought a whole bunch of magazines. And as you, oh my goodness, this is the second time the phone has rang. Hang on. Okay, if this were a movie set, it would be like take 3. Anyway, as you all know, I love Somerset Life magazines. I love them. And when I went to the bookstore, I picked this one up and Green Craft magazine. I think they're all they're all published by Stampington and Company. But this is my like all-time favorite. It makes me want to sing hallelujah every time I see a new one. And I kind of shiver and I don't want to read it because then it's over, you know? Oh, before I show you what I'm working on, I want to show you 2 things. First of all, I contacted Ranger about my markers. Remember I was saying that they were going dry? I heard back from them this same day. So I thought that was fantastic customer service. And I told the lady that. She said, could you please tell me how you're storing them? I said, upright. She said, lie them on their side for 24 hours and then try them again. If that doesn't work, please contact me. First of all, I was awed in the customer service from a company like that. Fantastic. So if you have any Ranger products or Tim Holtz products that aren't working for you, contact them. They were awesome. So I laid them on my side and I just, you know that red one that was dry as can be? I just want to show you. Just tearing off this scrap piece of paper. It works, oops, too close. It works just fine now. Just like brand new. So that was the problem. So if you have this canister, and of course the logical sense would be to store the canister like this. Store them on their side, and that should rectify the problem. At least it did for me. So there's that. So hooray, the markers work. And then the next thing, I was just looking at these really, really pretty napkins. Sometimes I cover journals with them, and I thought, oh, they're so pretty, aren't they? And then maybe, I want to say 8 years ago, I bought this little mini canvas, and I've never done anything with it, and it's just sitting here. So I took a piece of the napkin and covered it, and then when this is still wet, I'm going to type on the computer the word create, and then cut it out. You know how you do that, the little paper squares, and then Mod Podge the whole thing, and maybe add some 3D flowers. I'm not sure, but talk about super simple, pretty little craft. So there's that. Now on to what I'm working on and what's got me so psyched, I'm telling you. I was looking through, look at all the pages I have dog-eared. Can you see? There's one there, one there, one there, 2. There's one there and then one there. One there. I mean, I'm telling you, there's so many projects in this book. It could keep me busy till summer. I'm not kidding you. So what was really got me going today was this project, because I started reading, and she said, starting in 2009, at the very end of each year, I've chosen a word to be the tune for the upcoming year. And I've always done that. Always choose a word. And my word for this year is answer, meaning answer the call, be of service, answer the needs of others, all that kind of thing. So hers was grace. So she made herself a book of grace. But I want you to see how this book looks. It looks like a Rolodex. Wait a minute. Got to get the picture in the camera. Oh, not sure how I'm going to do that. I'm going to have to scan out so you can see the picture. It's right there. Right there. It looks like a Rolodex. See those little knobs on the ends of each? And so what she has done is created this, she calls it her Book of Grace, and you fold the pages down of your book, which I have done. I found this book at the local thrift store, and it was a 400-page hardcover book like this. I think it was called What's So Wonderful, this book was called Angel of Light. And I thought that just spoke to me. Anyway, so you sit and methodically fold each page. I'll grab a book that is not done so you can see what I'm doing, because it would have taken me forever to do this on camera. So here's a smaller book. It's called The Victorian Flower Album, and I think I might make this for my sister. And what you do is just take each page and fold it like that. And you go on and you keep doing that. You can do this sitting watching TV. Because my sister was just going through just sort of, you know, some difficult times right now. So I thought to myself, this would be perfect for her when you see what it ends up being. It is just the coolest project ever. So you just continue to fold the pages like that, you see? And once you get them all folded, the book stays flat because of the folds in the book. It just centers it and it stays flat and it sits flat like that and then kind of becomes like your Rolodex. But instead of making it a file system like a Rolodex, on Pinterest, and this lady also said she got her original idea from Pinterest. That's what I love about people sharing of their ideas, because one person takes it and makes it this and the other person takes it and it just goes on. The creativity just seems to never end. So what she did is she made profundity cards or quotes that spoke to her grace. She had the Book of Grace and profundity cards tucked in the pages that spoke to her word. And so she was going to place it on a table side or just somewhere present in her bedroom, in the living room, whatever, and pull out a card and lay it on the top for her to focus on every week. So my word, as I said, is called Answers. So I'm calling mine the Book of Answers, or just the Answers, not sure. So I started playing around. I did not use any distress on the pages. They were already naturally distressed, which I loved. The reason I had the napkins out, I was originally going to cover, like you do with the journals, cover these inside covers with this napkin. And then I just started playing around, and all of a sudden I created that really cool crackle effect there. And I love it. I really, really like it. It just sort of speaks to, you know, a distressed book, and just, I like the natural look of that. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what I did on this side. That'll be gone soon. That was just distressing. Now, what I want to say is it would be much easier to figure out your treatment for these inside covers. Let me move the camera a bit. It would be way easier to figure out the treatment for these inside covers prior to folding your pages, because what I found is I have to hold them all back here to try to work on this page. Now, it doesn't matter if the first page gets kind of dirty, because it's just going to be laid, no one will ever see it. But I just thought for the working space, it would be of much more ease if that page could stay flat and you just have this to work on. So keep that in mind if you're going to make one of these, to fold your pages after you've done whatever you want to do to the cover. So I'm going to carry on and try to recreate what I created over there. Now this cover was really bright orange, and I think you can probably see it here. And I Mod Podged it, and it came this peachy color, which I thought was pretty. And I have to say, I made my own Mod Podge following, I can't remember her name. It's this Sharon, I think. Sharon. I will put her link in the down bar. So I made my own Mod Podge, and here it is. Not Mod Podge, gesso. Made my own gesso using dried plaster of Paris. It was kind of fun. Now, normally I would say cover your matte surface with something. My mat is so destroyed, it's starting to get that artsy look. It's starting to look like a distressed piece of artwork, I'm telling you. So I'm not so concerned about it. But if you have a really nice, pretty, pretty matte, you're going to want to protect that. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take Distress Stain, and it's Vintage Photo, and I'm just going to slap it all over the book cover here. Just really, you know, just literally staining it up. I haven't used these in so long, I can't even remember. I think you're supposed to squeeze them as you go. But you can see how this page is in the way, because, yeah, if the book was not folded like this, it would just be an open book and it'd be much easier to do. I'm just kind of slapping this on, no rhyme, no reason, because I want, when it crackles through, I really, really want to see the dark underneath, and that's what I found looked really cool on the other page, the other cover. It was a very neat technique. So then you kind of let that dry, and I think I'm going to dry it with my heat gun real quick. Sometimes you get the best techniques through trial and error. It's amazing. And this was one of those Jenny Belly techniques that she'd shown how to make your own crackle paint. And while I was doing it, then I realized, hey, that's that Jenny Belly technique she was talking about. So I kept on with it. So you lay down a layer of Mod Podge, and my Mod Podge is also homemade. So this is going to save a lot of moolah. Oh, and one thing I want to say about making homemade gesso, I found all of my ingredients at Canadian Tire Store, which would be kind of like a Home Depot type of thing. So look at the amazing crackles on the inside of this book cover. I mean, to me, I've had more success with this method than I have using crackle paint. So I will not be buying crackle paint anymore. And if I want a certain color, what I'm going to do is just take out a little bit of that gesso, tint it with whatever color I want, and then just use the same thing. So it's basically Mod Podge down first, and then your gesso on top, and then the dryer while it's still wet. Now you can see how what I'm talking about that page getting quite stained there, along there, but it does not show when it's like that. So I just love the way this is turning out. I think it's going to be a great little project. So I'm just going to carry on now. And what I did is I wanted to see which side, this one or this one, that I wanted to be my kind of feature side that says Book of Answers. And also, after I did the complete process, I did a really light wash with the Picket Fence Distress Stain, just really lightly. I just kind of went over it real quick, and then I took this wet cloth and wiped it really fast. So it just has that muted, you know, it's not really whited out. I did not want to lose those crackles. I think they look amazing. So I worked on my little title of my book, I guess. And I used, where's the paper I used? It was this glitzy paper stack. And I think it's just by Glitz. Pretty sure. But this one. And I used this paper here that has really tiny, tiny little text on it. You can't even hardly see the text. But that's just fine, fine text. So I used my Framelits Labels collection. And I cut it out with the Big Shot, and I got this, and then I just put Book of Answers, and then I just started distressing it around, and I'm going to put it right at the front of the book here, and then Mod Podge it on so we'll get that Mod Podgy finish. So then I'm going to go on to the next part. Let me show you. It's just this is just the funnest little project, I'm telling you. So the next thing, I'm going to put the book aside, and the next thing you do is you find a whole bunch of, you know, quotes or profundities, as I like to call them, and they're going to be tucked inside the pages like so. Tucked inside the pages of the book. And here they've got, you can see them better, so the different words. This one says, read between the lines, savor, pay attention. And you just use scrap pieces of paper and you stick them in little glassine bags and tuck them in with some, what is this called, seam binding, you know, that seam binding ribbon. And I thought of a few more: surrender, let it go, smile, and be patient. And they go tucked inside the pages of this book. So I'm going to work on those. I'm going to go through my ephemera and get some really neat postcards and neat old kind of vintage things. And then I'm going to get my glassine bags and see if I can size the card to the bag before I start creating my words. So this mess here is the super fun part of this whole thing. I'm going to move this book out of the way. I'm going to Mod Podge that on and let it dry and move it out of the way so I don't get the book all wrecked. But I was just trying different samples, and a lot of these, what I'm using, just give you some ideas of if you want to make a book like this, you don't have to buy a thing. Seriously. I'm using scraps of paper. I will often, if I'm distressing pages, these are the ones that I think I used these for my witch's book a long time ago, and these were just all the scrap ends. So I cut it out. I used my angle punch to create a tag. This one, We Are Memory Keepers. Or actually, is it? Yes, it is. And it's got an angle end on it, so you can see where I got the angle cuts right there. And so I'm putting them in, fitting the pieces in glassine bags like this. And then I'll probably put printed paper inside and then print my words on the computer. And then I remembered that Christina Betts had given me this absolutely stunning jar. And inside of it is all this beautifully inked seam binding ribbons. Look at them. Yellow. So I just want to play, people. I want to continue to play, but I have a doula meeting in the next little while. Look at this one. Oh, I can't wait to do this. So I will be back finishing up my book. So I will have my tags all made, and then I'll take you through my book of answers.